Alrighty guys, as y'all can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to show y'all the trade setup I used to make $1,060 trading NQ today. So starting off, my bias today was bullish. I was aiming, market opened on this candle. I was aiming for market to come up to this fair value gap or this 1 hour volume imbalance and this 4 hour volume imbalance, in which you can see if you gave it enough time today, it did. Came right up to the consequent encroachment of that 4 hour volume imbalance and then dropped off a cliff right after that. But initially I was bullish, so that's what we were looking for. You might be saying to yourself, well, if you were bullish for the day, why did you short? Let me explain. So to start, we have our first presented fair value gap, and then we have another fair value gap of buy side inefficiency. And we're waiting on news to come out at 9 a.m. Central Time. Here's the news candle. It creates a huge BISI. Comes up, almost takes out our 1 hour high. Inverts the BISI. And then redraws back in. And we get a decent little fill right here. And in one candle, it fell off a cliff. 27 and a quarter handles. Now, the reason I took this is because the news candle was extremely bullish today. It would have been a lot better if it was bearish, and we would have been trading straight up to these highs after that. But it was bullish, and we had a huge gap up, which I knew it was going to retrace that big old buy-side imbalance, sell-side inefficiency, and come down. And after it inverted, I got ready to enter. I waited for it to retrace a little bit. Luckily, it did. We got in. We rode this whole candle down, set our stop right at the top of our first presented fair value gap, and got out. The logic behind taking a short here is the retrace down, inverting the huge news gap that we had here. This was all news driver. And so we knew we had to fill in that gap, and once we're already so close, we have that first presented fair value gap that's drawing us down. Price loves to come back to that first presented fair value gap multiple times a day. You see, if you bring it over here, keeps coming. That's really it. Overall, the day was obviously bullish. You can see how price ran, but we ended up taking a short, and it paid off. We got a nice big wick. We should have just shorted it out of the top of news, I guess, out of this. I mean, close enough to call it a liquidity sweep if you wanted to, but I definitely didn't. Obviously, we sweep later, about an hour later, we sweep these highs. And we definitely should have waited for it to re-enter down here. If we wouldn't have gotten in here, I would have for sure waited for the re-entry, enter off that candle, and go back out. But yeah, we're really just targeting the first presented fair value gap as the draw for today after the news candle was bullish. I wish it was bearish, went through down here, took out, inverted the first presented fair value gap, and then came back up, traded through it again. We would have definitely stayed in it until that first hour, that 1 hour fair value gap draw that we had. Or if it would have came down here, taken out these relatively equal lows, that would have been the real ideal setup. But take what you get. And usually I'm only trading one contract, but I had some issues on my Trade Evade account trying to group trade, and I ended up trading 2 contracts. So that's why it's 27 and a quarter points, and I made $1,000, $1,060. If not, it would have been a $500 trade. I would have taken my profit at the first presented fair value gap because the overall day was bullish. But it's just a nice scalp, a nice play to get some quick cash and get out. And yeah, guys, thank you all for watching, and talk to y'all tomorrow.